Hello everyone, my name is TM, I am the new Titan. Alright, okay. I know that this is a little bit late. A bit late than you. So hear me out. Now, I, what, you know what happened yesterday with that I put this, I actually want to skip, a, after what happened, still a little, oh, seems to, you know what they're doing. And not on the not on the list of top but one of the on the top 10 created for nothing. Then you're playing it. That fair. Like niche. Out the first few minutes of the game. You're already scared. You're already scared shitless. My still recovering. And also I'm don't have to worry about it. Alright. Right. Well for the very least. I try my best. Everyone is trying their best. It's over. Lots of I think a lot of I do so. Well, as for me, give me a sec for now, alright? Need, need. And I'm back. Okay, so this, I have a little story for you guys. Right? Uh, I think it's perfect for this. atmosphere stars. Since it's October, month, you know, with everyone. I have a little story. This actually happened. This is actually a dream of mine. Did you not? It feels. You know that sometimes. I don't remember much, but did you not burn? Remember the. Remember the. Much, much like for mom. Isn't that that chapter? Someone said, woman. Oh, well, ah, nice. Except my cat. Yeah, I had a cat with me entering that door. There's my clock in. Oh, well, of course I can. Okay, slowly. I did, but feels like you're not walking up. Sometimes, well, feels like you're not walking at all. It's no ordinary growl. It's a hungry growl. That rather than that dream turned into a lucid. Felt that actually felt someone. I was aware of it. Aware of it. Much like that, Ram. Oh, so I felt that I'm standing. I had to move my leg. While while the monster having trying to see if cat is still there because sure scared if I let go if she'll run away if I let her go. Probably. I was scared, really scared. I was actually feel my body. It doesn't really look at doing something. I don't know because my eyes trickling out. It don't know what's happening. And felt like anything. That, perfect. Dude, that experience. That's it. That experience. Go closer to being, good thing I woke up. I've had to continue that nightmare. Continue that. I think I woke. That's one of those. Those are one of the nightmares. Really, really won't forget. That's it for story time. Hope guys have a good nap. That wolf is coming for you. That's all. But I should get what. Yeah. Don't tell me I have to. Tell me I have to. Gonna check. Sorry. Kinda sorry. Be right back. Gonna go from behind me, aren't what is baking soda. Okay. Hello. What is how you doing? I hope it's not nighttime on your end of the world. Oh, thank you, Baking Soda, for following me in this on Twitch. Really appreciate it. Hope enjoying the stream. I'm doing good so far. I have to be honest, I'm not really good at horror. Try my best. How was your day? Oh, darn it. Swing! This little kid is brave. That's good to know. So how's October been treating you, huh? Yeah. Oh, that place will give me nightmares, to be honest. hardest part. And I'll be honest. There, I'm not there. As long as it doesn't, I'm good. Yeah, that's one of the best qualities. Little nightmare. Run, 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 run. Whew, okay. 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 That was a plunger. Going here. The hell am I going? There's definitely something wrong with this. caliber. Get out of the way. Can't. A bummer. Ah, there it is. Okay. Why is there so many plungers? Fucking this shit. Oh, damn it. Okay. Good, didn't see me. Huh. My question is, are they going to come in here, capture, try to use that switch? Nope, I'm not there, stupid. Okay, okay. I think I'm close. Oh, okay. How though? That's fine. Now there, I'm not quite sure if I'm uh, if not really. Hey, hey. I figure my moment. I will just finish this. And then I'll continue to it. Hmm. So what I will need to do, I need to be able to go. Bit of a problem. How will I be able to climb on this? I can go up there, but I here. Oh wait, can actually what there, and I hope I'll be able to go. Hope I'll be able to climb those hooks. Okay. Thought I got caught. Good. Okay, so to hold tight. Oh! Oh, dang it! Wait. Ah, no! Aha! Screw you guys! Whew. Ah. Okay, kitchen nightmares is over now. Well, we are riding a ship here, so what part of the ship are we now? That question. Wait, wait! Time! That's the time! Wait. Wait. Are we going above the ship now? Who the hell are you? What the hell is this ship? Are those the guests? Yep, those are the guests. Holy hell. I thought this game couldn't surprise me because of those douche. And yet here we are. Why are you back in the ship? Oh, giant? By the sound of those of their footsteps, they are. Ah, hell. Wait, I see. I saw you before. You're the hostess. I thought the kitchen nightmare was almost done. That no. Oh, nope. I thought the kitchen part was scary. Now I have to run from these guys? again. Okay. How would I be? That question. People are literally giving me nightmare. Wait a minute. Do I need to? Yep, thanks, run. Okay. This is the problem. What the hell am I going to go here? Do I need to go here? Ow! God damn it. Give me a moment. This away. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Quick. Oh, I am back. Now that I know that I need. But what I want to know is, this place full of people. Are those guys giants? Ow! just one swing. Got it. One swing. This game I can tolerate, but amnesia? No, I can't. Yeah, tell you later. Oh no. Yeah, no. Sorry to do that, but I need to do a little bit. Oh, see ya. Okay. Huh. Okay. One way. Oh man, those two is stupid in here. Okay, good. Didn't know that. Oh, god damn, it's big. Whoa! What the hell? Yeah. What the hell? Oh, dang it! Tell you later. Whew. Okay. Oh no, he's hungry again. Come on, little guy. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, come on. little further. Got to be. Thank you, little gnome. Ugh. The hell, man. Now the gnomes won't come. Won't will get away now. Oh, don't. And that was faster than I expected. I'll be able. Okay, so I broke the vase. Now, huh, find the key. Only problem. I do really need to break the vase. Boss, I mean, whoa! Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Meow, meow. Okay, gotta run. Wait a minute. What the hell is this? Ah, okay. I think this is going to be the boss, final boss. Uy. Come on, come on, come on. Aha! Come on, come on. There you go. The light is getting small. Ah, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Huh? Don't tell me you're going to eat the girl. I guess I have no choice then. Did eat that gnome. I just got the bad ending. Oh, holy Christ! They're sucking their life with him? I can hear the gnome. Oh, little guys, go on. Hmm. Okay, so I never really expected the game to be that short. But I'll be damned. That was it's just thought provoking. I don't know what to say. You guys hired voice actors for this? But if I have to say, I have to say something about this game. Fuck. Never expected to be that. I never expected to have that ending. That boss fight was something else. Boss fight was something else. So, but just while we're watching the ending here, the credits. Just I want to know. I want to know. Oh, it is the ending. Okay, so since um okay, we need someone to explain the I saw a couple of I saw a couple of YouTube videos providing the explanation on ending of Little Nightmares. We're gonna watch it together and then see what the hell is really going on. Because as far as I can tell, the little man there, kid, he just became possessed with powers um that he's not supposed to kill. Because as far as I can tell, all those children that were turned into livestock, I don't, I'm actually speechless. Actually, I don't know what to say. But then again, what was that tower? What was that tower? So what? Let's skip credits. Oh, you can't skip credits. Okay. All right, fine. Not gonna skip credits. Let's just roll with it. Little Nightmares is such a fun. I can go on a little bit. Gordon. Wait, Gordon was the one who sponsored the creation of Amnesia. Thank you for. Wait a minute. Aren't we in a? Are we just in a ship a little while ago? How the hell did we come into an island? Aren't we in the ship a little while ago? Oh, Now we're going to the watch an explanation of what's going on. Because I truthly told, sorry about that. So what the
On the surface, Little Nightmares appears to be a fantasy horror game in which we assume the role of a young girl in a yellow raincoat
young
known
girl,
as
okay.
Six. Throughout
Okay.
her adventure, Six makes her way through the depths of a prison known as the Maw. A grim environment full of grotesque, monstrous-looking humanoids before eventually facing off against a mysterious woman known simply as the Lady. But there is more to this game than meets the eye, and so in this video we take a look at the hidden meaning behind Little Nightmares, not theorizing so much about the story of the game, but rather what it all symbolizes, its deeper meaning. You see, game developers often design their stories as a political or social commentary, and I believe Little Nightmares is a metaphor for the child slave trade in third world countries, specifically sweatshops. What are sweatshops? These are factories designed to produce items such as clothing for more affluent first world countries at low costs. They employ child workers from a very young age to work long, hard hours for very little benefit, so their products can be sold overseas at low prices. These work conditions are often very poor and dangerous for the children involved, and while conditions are not as bad as they used to be, where children were often homeless and forced to live in workhouses simply to have a roof over their heads, they are still deplorable work environments. Of course, Little Nightmares may also touch on other aspects of slavery, such as human trafficking, but in order to stay focused, we'll use the sweatshop analogy for much of this video. So, with the basics explained, let's dive into this theory with a look at the world of Little Nightmares and the characters which inhabit it. Let us begin with a basic overview of the disgusting appearance of the game's enemy character designs. Each of the enemies' 6 encounters, from the jailer to the cooks to the lady herself upon removing her mask, and the bloated customers who board the ship to banquet, all have the same horrifying look. An easy explanation for this is simply because each of them have been involved in the exploitation of children for personal gain, and I'll go into detail on this later on. Their vile appearance symbolizes their wicked morals, sinful acts, and evil souls. It is a visual representation of all the atrocities they have committed. This also explains the mystery of the hanging man. Notice how he looks the most human out of everyone. This is because he has a conscience. He had a good soul at heart and could not stand being involved in the exploitation of these child workers any longer.
I don't think this is more of
And so he took his own life, thus retaining his human form. With this concept in mind, let us take a detailed look at the main events of the game and how they all feed into our theory for today. When we first load up the game, Six experiences a nightmare in which she sees a blurry vision of a lady in a white mask. She then wakes up in an impoverished setting, sleeping inside an old suitcase. This is our first piece of evidence to support today's theory. We see the ringleader of the slave trade and then transition right into a shot of a child waking up in a room which could easily represent a poor third world setting.
Yeah, I don't think. As far as I can tell, so as far as I can, not about.
Now it's important to note that this is the beginning of Six's descent into hell, and this hell represents her years as a child surviving the horrors of slavery. Keep this in mind as we continue. It isn't long before Six comes across a room full of other children, all sleeping in very basic looking beds. This room looks strikingly similar to the sleeping quarters of an old orphanage or poorhouse. These kinds of places were used by factory owners to recruit children in order to exploit them for free labour, not just in third world countries, but all over the world many years ago. We have seen this represented in children's movies such as Don Bluth's An American Tail. We have further evidence this game may be a direct representation of work conditions for the poor during the 1930s or 1940s, as the footage shown on this television is an old black and white recording from that era. Add to that the fact that this room is monitored by a horrifying character known as the Jailer. He has an enormous grin, stretched out skin covering his eyes, and abnormally long arms. He literally represents the man responsible for the captivity of these children. The jailer is responsible for keeping the children locked away and putting them to work each day, and we see this represented very clearly with this character in Little Nightmares. Next up, let's take a look at the strange all-seeing eyes. These are robotic eyes built into the walls that have the power to turn Six to stone if she is spotted by them. Again, there is a simple explanation for these eyes within the confines of this theory. Much like the jailer himself, these eyes represent the fact that as a slave worker, children are always being closely watched, simply because many of them would try to escape on a daily basis. So this is the game symbolizing there is no escape for these children. They are either stolen or born into slavery and will be dealt with and repressed if they attempt to escape. As we escape the jailer and move towards the kitchen area, Six lands in a giant pile of shoes. These shoes represent all the children who perished while slaving away in these workhouses, the lost souls who never made it to adulthood. This was very common, as previously mentioned. Workhouses were dangerous places where accidents would often occur and end up in fatalities. Many other children would simply die from years of exhaustion. These shoes represent this. The creature living beneath the shoes symbolizes the years of slavery, trying to pull Six down to an early grave, but she manages to escape such a fate. The cooks themselves all wear strange and disturbing looking masks, again representing their hideous actions. But these are not real cooks. They are presented as such in the game, but I believe they are symbolic themselves, instead representing the people who ran the workhouses and sweatshops directly. These were the people who put the children to work each day in order to create products for the wealthy, products such as clothing and footwear. In one section, we literally use a meat grinder to create sausages for the fat cats who enter the ship for the feast. Meat that we can assume came from the children in the game. You may have heard the term before, being put through a meat grinder. The dictionary definition for this is a destructive action or process, so the meat grinder symbolizes the lives of the children at workhouses around the world who are literally worked to the bone, until they have nothing left to give. And of course the people responsible for this are the men and women who run these factories, in the case of Little Nightmares, the cooks themselves. Finally, let's move on to the two final sequences of the game. Six reaches the upper levels of the moor and sees hundreds of obese and deformed looking men and women boarding the ship for a vast banquet, overlooked by a mysterious masked woman known as the Lady. These customers are representations of the people benefiting from the slave trade, gouging themselves on products created by this corrupt system, a system that has caused so much pain and suffering to children around the world. They even try to reach out and grab Six and will eat her if they are successful. They are literally symbolizing the consumers of the first world, as they literally consume everything they can get their grubby hands on in the game. As for the lady herself, well, there's several points to touch on here. First of all, look to her mask. It hides a hideous face. As mentioned earlier, a face made hideous due to years of human exploitation. This woman is so evil, she cannot even look at her reflection in the mirror, as she would be disgusted by what she sees. This is why we see broken mirrors all over the game, and also why Six defeats her by using one. The lady is the symbol of the person at the top, the people in real life who pull the strings and control every aspect of the slave trade. She has built a business out of other people's suffering and gains both from the rich who buy her product and from the poor who live and die in captivity, existing only to work until they no longer can. We have proof of this in the game's DLC chapters, where we see the lady transforming one of the children into a gnome, a creature who is powerless and forever forced to live in the shadows. And these gnomes are also shown working to power machines throughout the game's DLC chapters. Also, it's interesting to note that her mask and appearance is similar to that of an ancient Japanese mistress. These were women who ran tea houses in feudal Japan. Geisha would work for their mistresses, often having to do unspeakable things to entertain the men who would frequent them, and these mistresses would profit off that. This is more evidence for our theory that the meaning behind the game is indeed that of human exploitation. But there is one final twist to this tale, and that is the evolution of our main character Six. One of the many tragic ends for a child working in the slave trade is not simply dying at a young age, but instead surviving many years of suffering and then becoming involved in the trade themselves as an adult, working their way up the ranks to become a master to future generations of kids and exploiting them the same way they were once exploited themselves. And so Six's journey throughout the game represents her survival of all of those years of torment as a child worker, but then also her rise to a position of power within the industry. Notice how each time she feeds, she becomes more powerful, but we also hear sinister, foreboding music, and the screen turns slightly red.
Yeah, from a rat to the gnome.
Eventually, she even feeds on one of the children themselves. Of course, all of this is symbolizing Six's transformation to adulthood, where she transitions from child slave to slave master, taking over from the previous master, the lady. This explains why we see Six sapping the life from the customers on the boat at the end of the game. She is profiting from them now, just as the lady did before. She now runs the show, and will transform into a disgusting looking creature over the years. Six is the new lady, and the new slave master, fully corrupted after years of life imprisoned, being forced to work in deplorable conditions. As mentioned earlier, this is the hidden meaning behind Little.
So that's the hidden meaning of Little Night. But still though. Okay. Alright. Don't get it. Okay, let's go with
As many of you know, the indie horror genre seems to be an ever-evolving and booming style in the gaming market. These games started to gain traction with Slender and exploded with the rise of FNAF, and now we're finding even more clever and mesmerizing horror games coming onto the market. Among these newer titles, you'll find a masterpiece called Little Nightmares. Much like all these horror games, we don't know exactly what's going on in the world of Little Nightmares. The plot is murky and unclear. There seem to be otherworldly powers at play, and as usual, our protagonist is somewhat of a mystery. Unlike many of the games in the indie horror genre, however, Little Nightmares has one thing in particular that is unique from FNAF or Slender or Tattletale or Bendy and the Ink Machine. This game is not played in first person. In fact, we get to stare at our adorable little character all game as we run away from noodle-armed janitors and fugly cooks. So rather than the main mystery being about other people or the world itself, as it is with other horror games, Little Nightmares' mystery revolves around 6, not 5. Nor 4. The number is 6, who is also our main character. Now, does our character's name mean something? Perhaps it does, and perhaps not. There's many mysteries to this story. What vessel are we on? Why are we trying to escape? What is the purpose of the vessel? How did we get trapped here to begin with? Why are all these customers so gross? What's wrong with your face? Today, I'm going to go in depth about my view of 6 and her story, and that includes what this all means. So grab some no meat and prepare for spoilers, cause we're about to tiptoe into the story of 6 and Little Nightmares. The story you never knew. We're going to start at the place where most things start, the beginning. We start off with a short, dark cutscene. Slowly, as the screen becomes clear, we see a lady in a mask turn to look at us, and with a startled jump, we awake. And look how adorable we are! First of all, we're sleeping in a suitcase. I mean, who am I, Stuart Little? 90s reference aside, we're playing as a little girl wearing a dirty yellow raincoat, and our only worldly possession is a Zippo lighter, which is cool and all, but don't start smoking when you're that young, kids. You're just begging for lung cancer! As we get up, let's pause for a moment and look at our surroundings. Now, there isn't really much in this room to go off of, but there's one particularly important detail we should take note of. The suitcase we are sleeping in has pictures taped on the side. Now, maybe one of you youngins out there have 20/20 vision, but for me, I can't tell what those pictures are of. However,
Actually, one of the first things that I've noticed. But give me a few moments. Okay, we're back.
really big. I don't know about you, but I can't sleep very easily in a suitcase. Considering those two options, it seems more likely that 6 is just tiny, as opposed to everything else being massive. So we've got a tiny individual stuck on the maw and trying to get out. Let's continue. As we go into the next few rooms, we reach a place where we get a scope of just how massive this place is. Again, just this room brings about some questions. In every room before this, everything has been massive, yet now we find some stairs that are perfectly our size. 6 isn't small for this world. There's just 2 sizes that seem to be around. We actually went by some gnomes earlier, so perhaps they built these stairs. It's unclear as of now. But we do know that our size isn't out of place as like we expected. How interesting. Let's move on. A couple rooms later, we meet another human. Too bad he's dead. But not just dead. Based on the chair, his hanging from the ceiling, and the envelope at his feet, he committed suicide. The envelope hasn't been opened. It seems that we're the first to find him. However, 6 has no reaction to this hanging person, which leads me to believe that she has ventured at least this far before. In addition to that, since the envelope hasn't been opened, she's probably too young to even read. So let's add that to our character's profile. A little ways down the line, we find a makeshift rope made out of bed sheets or some other type of material. It's the type of thing you'd see from a bride getting cold feet and running away on her wedding day. But how did it get here? Have we been here before? Did we leave this trail? Or perhaps the gnomes made this path? Either way, someone or something has been here already. Once we climb up the rope, we find ourselves in a playroom. Interesting, isn't it? A deserted playroom filled with toys for children, yet there are no children. And there's a makeshift...
Okay, that's actually one of the things that that's puzzling me for quite a while now. Although yes, our children inside of the ship, but it doesn't actually show us what or what are the children doing. Oh yeah, although yes, the other videos say that it's more on child exploitation and slave ownership, but doesn't give us it doesn't give us the fact that there are more there are more things to die.
rope escaping from the playroom's bathroom. It's possible that we escaped from this playroom using this rope and now we're coming back. But whether or not it was us, something terrible happened here. Why else would a child feel forced to climb out of a bathroom window to escape? And just to add to this theory, the playroom door is blocked by electric bars. Whoever is running the mall didn't want children leaving, to the point that they were willing to hurt children who tried to escape. A bit later, we find ourselves in a nursery with a bunch of sleeping children. Kinda makes sense considering the play. Oh my god, it's Mr. Noodle Arms! Yep, definitely would have tried to climb out the window too. This guy is blind as a bat, but has ears like a fox. His ramen arms spitily climb around searching for you when he hears noises, but if you're quiet like a good girl, he'll leave you alone. So shut the flaffle muffin up! Once he leaves and we continue through the nursery, we can make out the snoring of the babies in the cribs. Well, that's good at least. They aren't dead. Yet. But between the escape attempt, the suicide guy, and your measly home, we know something isn't right. There's something evil we're trying to escape from. The real question is to find out what it is and why it's doing what it's doing. As we continue, we find what looks like a prison cafeteria, and one that is our size no less. Wait a minute. If there's a nursery, then a cafeteria for children? Are these people keeping children for years? Allowing them to grow up but keep them prisoner? It seems likely, doesn't it? I mentioned earlier that Six has been on the Maw for at least a while based on the decorative pictures in her suitcase. Is it possible she was born here? Or brought here when she was even younger? It seems likely. But the nursery, followed by this prison-looking cafeteria, is proof enough to me that children are being held here, possibly for years. As we pass by the cafeteria, Six begins to succumb to some sort of hellish hunger. It seems to consume all of Six's energy, bringing her to the point of nearly collapsing when, luckily, a silhouetted figure throws us some food from the cafeteria. It's possible that we haven't eaten in days, just barely hanging in there. If we are the child that escaped out that window however long ago, it's likely that we're malnourished, starving, which would also explain why we're so small considering our intelligence. When children get malnourished at a young age, they don't grow and gain muscle as they should, even though the brain continues to develop. It seems likely to me that this happened to Six, and now, in a desperate attempt to find food and escape, she's begun venturing back the same way she came. Further along in the game, we find a small little cabin that I believe is inhabited by Mr. Noodle Arms. The picture on the wall is definitely a younger version of him, and based on the tasks we've seen him do so far, it doesn't seem like he's really in charge. He's down in the lower levels taking care of kids, doing janitor stuff. This seems like the personal quarters to me. The other pictures on the walls are primarily of gnomes, showing that there is, or at least was, some sort of friendship or admiration of them. However, much like the picture of Mr. Noodles, these pictures are also old, and the gnomes now seem scared to be out in the open. Something must have happened on the Maw to cause this fear in the gnomes. The question is what? Later on, I think we find our answer. In another fit of hunger, Six finds some food inside a cage. A cage that just so happens to be perfect for capturing you, or anyone your size, like a gnome. Is Mr. Noodle Arms trying to capture gnomes or children? Or maybe both? It's hard to say for certain at this point, but we can tell that since he's blind, it would be pretty easy to capture a gnome instead of a child, or vice versa. So, we've found out why the gnomes are terrified. When we awake, we find ourselves locked inside a cage surrounded by other confined children. or gnomes. It's too dark to really tell for sure. As we make our way further, we run into Mr. Noodle Arms, taking dead children and wrapping them up and putting them on hooks. We can take this as confirmation that something horrible was happening to these children. With this information, I think we can cement the idea that Six was somehow trapped on the Maw as a child, escaped out the window of the playroom, lived as long as she could in seclusion, and now, in desperation, is venturing back into the inhabited part of the Maw to attempt to escape. After escaping the noodles of death, Six plops down a vent to find herself in a sea of shoes. Perhaps this didn't mean anything to you, but not only is this utterly horrifying, it's also some subtle Holocaust imagery too. In case you aren't up to date on your Holocaust history, let me fill you in for a minute. Concentration camps killed thousands of people, and one of the issues that they ran into was what to do with all the clothes of the people who died. There are historical pictures and museum pieces that are only shoes of people who died in concentration camps. This room in Little Nightmares is not only a replica of these pictures, but it depicts the idea that there is some sort of mass genocide happening on board the Maw. The Maw isn't just a death trap, but a trap specifically to kill thousands of a certain type of person. I'm not sure what type of person that is yet, but I think we'll find out as we continue onward. As Six continues her journey, she eventually uses that hook pulley system we saw earlier with Mr. Noodles to travel from one part of the Maw to another. Behind Six and in the background, we can see other hooks carrying body bags of the dead children we saw earlier in the game. When Six lands on the other side, she also lands on a mountain of body bags. She then walks over a ton of metal crates containing more body bags until she finds a blood-stained path leading to a door. The door, it opens to a kitchen. Hundreds of human children body bags leading up to a blood-stained path to a kitchen. And right before this kitchen was a pile of empty body bags. There's no other way of analyzing this.
Yeah, I think physical here is
They are taking dead children and using them for food. Disgusting. Just the thought makes my stomach churn, but then again, the game is called Little Nightmares. Perhaps that's a reference to how the owner of the Maw thinks of children, that they are little nightmares. In this kitchen, we meet the chef duo from, I don't know, somewhere ugly. Although, if you look closely, they seem to be wearing masks. Not only do their faces show no change or reaction at all when they see you, but occasionally you can see one of the chefs lift up his mask and scratch underneath it. I think this pretending to be ugly thing is going to be very important to the plot later on, so keep it in the back of your mind. Further down the line, we finally see what this establishment is for. To be blunt, it's for fat, ugly people to get more fat and ugly. They come in an endless line, forcing food down their gullets. And if they see you, they try to catch you. They want to eat you, which I guess makes sense considering they're eating other children too. As we scale our way into the dining hall, we get a quick glimpse of a woman looking over the crowd. The same woman we saw in our nightmare at the very beginning of the game. Is she the owner? Judging by the way she's looking at this crowd and the earlier nightmare of her, I think she is. But what is the purpose of this place? We'll need to finish the game to find out. As we progress, we find a bathroom with a one-way mirror. A one-way mirror in a bathroom? What is this woman trying to do? Why is she spying on her customers? What is her true purpose for hosting this establishment? Luckily, the next step in our journey is to enter her quarters. This is perhaps the most important part of the game. There's many pictures on the walls here that tell us a story. There's a picture of the Maw itself right before we enter the lady's room. And more importantly, there are some pictures of a little girl. This, combined with the nightmare Six had of this lady, is fairly solid proof to me that Six is this lady's daughter. Think about how easily Six was able to get around the Maw, how she has been on the Maw for a long time, how she had pictures. She wasn't a visitor on this ship. No, she lived on this ship. And the only other person that we know who lives here besides the cooks and Mr. Noodles is this lady.
okay, so it doesn't really answer. Well, yes, it does give us a possible answer to a theory on why Six is there, but it doesn't really explain. Doesn't really explain how Six got there. Even though Six is the daughter of the lady here, don't really know her main origin.
It's not a coincidence that she has a picture or two of a little girl. No, this is Six's mother, and her mother tried to get rid of her, and clearly boarding school wasn't an option. We eventually end up facing our mother in battle, and our only weapon against her is an unbroken mirror. Using this unbroken mirror, we are able to disable our mother and then eat her. Whoa, okay there, we gained some crazy power from eating her, but let's go back to the fight for a minute. Why does an unbroken mirror hurt her? Come to think of it, every mirror besides the one-way glass mirror was broken. The whole game is filled with broken mirrors. What does that mean? And does it have anything to do with all the fat, ugly people eating and the genocide imagery that we discovered earlier? Yes, it has everything to do with all of that. But before we start analyzing the game as a whole, let's first finish the game. 6, with her newfound power to absorb souls or life or energy or something like that, walks through the maw, killing as she goes. She exits the ship and we see the maw like an island with a smokestack out in the water. And before the game ends, we hear a ship's horn blowing. Poetic. Now what does this whole game mean? What the hell happened here? Well, let's go through everything we've discovered to bring forth the whole story. The lady in the mask is Six's mother. Six was most likely born on this ship, hence having pictures that she keeps in her suitcase. The mother and Six obviously don't get along. We knew that from the very beginning of the game when Six had a nightmare about her own mother, and again at the end when they battle. As we go through the game, we see that someone has hung himself, that children are being confined, killed, and eaten, that a never-ending supply of horrible people are boarding the maw to gorge themselves with food. We know that this woman's face has some sort of power, a power that can be reflected with a mirror that isn't broken. And we know that this lady, as the owner, wants all these children killed. Remember all the shoes. This is a premeditated genocide. But a genocide of who? That's what I want to answer. And I believe the pictures of Six give us our answer. This lady, who is never without a mask, is trying to kill all the beautiful people in the world. The people she is feeding and supporting are all ugly, obscene monsters. She hides her face because she is ashamed of it. She has cooks wear masks to make them look like abominations. I believe something happened to this lady. Something happened to her face that turned her from beautiful to hideous, and she could not bear for anyone else to be more beautiful than her. So in an attempt to regain her former beauty, she began killing all the beautiful people she could, including beautiful babies. By doing this long enough, she would eventually regain her beauty because everyone else would be as hideous as her guests. There was only one problem. She had a daughter, a beautiful daughter, more beautiful than she was, and she couldn't handle that. She fought with it for years as Six grew up, but eventually she gave in to her vanity, taking Six down to the nursery to be brought up and killed with the other beautiful children. Only Six escaped and survived, only to come back later and kill her own mother. A genocide in the name of beauty, a woman of pure vanity in charge. A daughter forsaken comes home for revenge, knowing her mother's one true weakness, her own hideous face. And that's the story. You never knew. That's my dark take on Little Nightmares. Hey.
Okay, I don't think so. Terms, yes, it's possible. But here's the thing about that. The thing about that nation. Although yes, it shows us the possible origin of Six, it doesn't really answer how. How saved in the first place. Doesn't really give us something. But if I'm going to my conclusion, all of this, I would go with it. But not in a way about the lady having a daughter. But I think those photos, I think it's more of a reminder that one beautiful thing that turning something hideous. There's a mask over the everyone wears a mask. Like, pretty much true for everyone. But what we can look at how they turn their children into food. So remember, when we saw the jailer, we pulled some I don't think that was it. We more believe the root of the treatment has taken step. The lady is not the father of the kid. I think 6 years tries to think. Reality. Yeah. Absolute then when the food here, when the all of the people in the mall take the time sick. If we're going to or I think he did that because he wanted one doesn't really know what's going on initially, and I think the man was children, but the children there. That's how I. first one failed. I think I'm good. They don't like where it's thought-provoking. Everyone can see. The developer really did a good job. Sequence for event. Although, I would believe the first for me. The first video starting to end. I would believe that. One thing. More of it gonna go. Stop. We'll know more if I'm going to play this one. So yeah. Don't expect me to play this anytime soon. But anyway, thank you very much. Yeah, and I would like to thank Biggles Food again for following me on this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to, this is the reason follow. Anyway, thank you very much. You can follow me Twitch, like my YouTube channel, and like. I do multi, so if you can't catch me Twitch, or so for tomorrow, I think I'm going to play there, or because I have 3 options. Thingy. Let's have a ride. Second half here is not enough. So it's me, the quick and unexpected, and follow me to know more. That being said, my name is Dan. I am a new Titan, and now